I actually started working for First American when I was 15.
What is escrow and why is it such a crucial part of the real estate transaction?
Most people, it's the biggest investment they've ever made.
What are some common delays or mistakes that you see happening during escrow, and how could some buyers potentially avoid them?
I think the biggest issue is you have to be active in that process. Wire fraud, heavily on the rise. We're seeing attempts on a constant basis.
How do you guys normally send out your wire instructions anyways? All right, guys, welcome back to the Greenhaven Capital Mortgage Mentor podcast. I'm your host, Kevin, and today I'm joined by one of the best escrow officers I've ever worked with.
Thank you.
I have Kellie Ames from First American Title. She's helped countless buyers and sellers navigate through the escrow process with ease, and today she's going to answer some of the most common questions and help break it down for us. So, Kellie, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me today, Kevin.
Thanks for being here. I know you're super busy and your time is valuable, so thanks for coming all the way out here.
Thank you.
So let's just dive right into it. Can you tell us a little bit on how you got started in the business?
Yeah, I actually started working for First American when I was 15,
Wow.
I ordered payoffs and hassled them a little bit. I'm 16. Can't you do your job too? And I worked after school, and then I went to college, and then I came back to First American. And about 8 years ago, I became an escrow officer from an assistant, and just been powering through ever since.
Yeah, well, you definitely have a lot of experience, and you do a great job for us. And I know you're very knowledgeable. So thank you for all you do for us. We appreciate that.
Thank you. You're the best.
So I got a lot of questions, a lot of common questions. And the first question I have is, a lot of times people ask me, what is escrow and why is it such a crucial part of the real estate transaction?
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite saying is that escrow is like Switzerland. We're neutral and we hold all the money. So we just make sure that all the processes are held together. So separate from title, we're the settlement services. So we're collecting the funds. We're making sure that everything is buttoned up nice and neat. At the end, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And that most importantly, that nobody gets cash and nobody gets keys until all the processes are done and complete and we're on record.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do. And then you did mention a little bit on title and escrow. What is actually the difference between escrow and title?
Yeah, it's common because we're named First American Title, but then I'm an escrow officer, so it seems interesting. In Southern California, they have title and escrow as separate companies, but up here in Northern California, we do it together.
Yeah.
So escrow services, like I just explained, title is the coverages ensuring that we're ensuring a free and clear title to the buyer of a transaction and to the lender if applicable.
So the title basically just says, hey, we're going to deliver the title to you, and there's not going to be any liens. You're ensuring there's no other
Title clouds are the biggest issue that can wreck an escrow. They're silent and they can just really take over. So we're double checking that the seller who actually says they're the seller, whether it's an entity or a trust or just a singleton, a husband and wife, we're making sure that they actually have the rights to sell the home and that anything on the chain of title is being cleared, addressed, and removed so that it doesn't become an issue for the buyer in the future.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So when someone actually opens escrow with you, can you kind of walk us through step by step of what you actually do?
Yeah. Well, my most favorite part is that intro call to the buyer. Yeah. I love to collect funds. It's my favorite part because I get to tell them, like, congratulations. There's nothing more exciting than making that phone call to a first-time home buyer who's eager and nerve-ited. My son's third grade teacher has this saying about being nerve-ited. You're nervous and you're excited. And you can just tell everyone comes in with that nerve-ited energy. Yeah. Like, I don't know about you, but the first time I ever sent a wire transfer was the first time I bought my home. Most people, it's the biggest investment they've ever made, and they've never sent a wire transfer.
That's true.
So first step, collecting funds. We want to make that connection, see who they are, make sure their email address is correct, and then go over the wire process with them. From there, it's lots of paperwork. We're chatting with the lenders, the loan officer, the real estate agent, processors, and transaction coordinators, making sure that everything's cleared, including doing the title research and prepping the file. Then loan docs come, our next favorite part. Then everyone signs, sends in the money, And then we get on record.
Then you get on record. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So what are some common, I guess, delays or mistakes that you see happening during escrow, and how could some buyers potentially avoid them?
Oh, absolutely. I think the biggest issue is missing important deadlines. We see time and time that the buyer maybe forgot to send their money in on time, or that they missed signing a document with the real estate agent or with the loan officer that's created a delay. We see this then turn into an escrow delay of closing. I think sometimes people feel nervous, or maybe they're overwhelmed. I mean, you have all the parties in the transaction. There's multiple emails, there's multiple requests, and it can be stressful, but we're trying to do these things out in 21 days. You guys can nail 17 days all day, every day. Yeah. So, we're trying to get all of these things done, and I do see that missing signing important documents does really cause the most contractual delays we see in closing.
Okay, so make sure they sign all the paperwork, make sure they respond quickly, make sure everything's in order.
Yeah, have those bank statements.
Make your deadlines, get your bank statements, both buyers and sellers, that is, right? Sellers need to get their stuff together too, I think, sometimes as well.
Yeah, sometimes we have to hunt the sellers down a little bit, and it's just a reminder that if you want to sell your house, you have to be active in that process, because there's lots of things that we can't obtain without their consent, and so we need them to be an active partner in the closing.
Okay. So one big thing that is pretty prevalent in the real estate industry right now, especially for title companies, is wire fraud. Can you kind of break down about the wire fraud in the real estate industry and what potential buyers and sellers could look out for?
Absolutely. Wire fraud is on the rise, and it's been on the rise. And if anything, with AI and with scammers just having more access to people's information, it is heavily on the rise. We're seeing attempts on a constant basis. And the most important thing is that never trust an email alone. When we're connecting to buyers in the beginning of a transaction, we're talking to them, we're going over wire fraud, but then sometimes we're not really talking to the buyers from asking for money until maybe closer to the end, where we ask for money again. If there's communication in that timeline, it's something that you need to be alerted to. If a buyer gets some sort of communication about money ahead of you or I reaching out about money, it's generally a cause for concern. That the buyer has multiple access points, as does the seller, to our information. But if in that moment you're getting an email as a buyer or a seller that's asking about money, or asking about banking information, asking about money at all, directly connect to the escrow officer, to the trusted phone number you have. Don't email, don't trust the email, and definitely don't trust the phone number listed in the email. Go directly to the source and double check, is this real? Is this the right account information? We stopped several wiring instruction fraud over the course of especially the last 5 years, just by being diligent and by making sure that buyer calls in to say, is this you? Is this real? I know you said that I should be on high alert. Is this you? And we're able to stop it. Very often they start to send those phishing emails on a Thursday afternoon. They get confirmation from them, and they're saying, hey, we're really excited. If you want to close a little earlier on time, you have to send your money today. They send the money on a Friday. By the time Monday rolls around and anybody knows it's not arrived, it's not to the right account, they've already taken the money. It's really hard to get the money back.
Oh, man. That's scary. So make sure you do not wire any money. Call your escrow officer, call your loan officer, call your real estate agent, call everyone to make sure before you send any wires, because the last thing you want to do is send a wire and not be able to get it back. So that's scary stuff. So, I know it's happened to a lot of people. I know there's been several attempts. I know there's a lot of spoof emails, a lot of spam emails. So it's even more important in this day and age to really stay on top of it. So how do you guys normally send out your wire instructions anyways?
We send our wire instructions via 2 ways. So we have a transactions portal, which is really great. It's only directly connected through your email and your phone number.
Got it.
So it's your email, a text to you to confirm, and then you're able to access the wiring instructions, and then in the future, the preliminary title report, and after closing, your signed documents. Sometimes, though, people are in a little bit of a rush, so we allow access through the transactions portal, which is the most secure and preferred way. We also send a secure email that then sends a code. It's a 2-step authentication, sends a code, then you're able to log in and access the PDF. And then we absolutely require, you cannot send any money without calling the main office line.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's really good information. So make sure to never wire money without calling or checking or verifying, triple checking if you need to.
Triple check.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so another question I ask when I get fees from escrow or title, right? There's a bunch of fees listed. One of the most common is, what is title insurance and why do I need it? Why am I paying this? So can you kind of break that down?
Yeah, absolutely. Title insurance is the legal safeguard to the biggest investment most people will ever make in their life. It's like wearing a seatbelt. If you don't really care about wearing your seatbelt until you get in that accident, and then you're like, oh, I'm so happy I was wearing this. Yeah. Title insurance covers for liens, judgments, fraud, thefts, a bunch of items that protect you as the buyer. It covers you from the day of recording back. So it's not just the seller you bought it from, it's the seller before them and the seller before them. And so some people say, man, I just don't want to pay this $1,400. I just don't want to pay it. I'd rather save it now. But without title insurance, you're taking on every lien and judgment that seller has. Right now, we're paying off a bunch of IRS liens, child supports, home equity line of credit. Without title insurance, you have no real safeguard to protect you from those things. And also a common title claim that we see is heirs that pop up. Right now we have people selling their home out of their parents' trust who may have passed away. And we see that. And then now a sister pops up and says, oh, I'm the successor trustee. It's our job to clear title. It's our job to review trust. It's our job to make sure that person is truly the correct successor trustee. But we see it time and time again where there's beneficiaries who don't agree or don't accept the fact of the contract. And without title insurance, you're not protected from any of those things. And heirs popping up in the future stating that they actually have a claim to the home could uproot an entire buyer family. It's a one-time cost. It's almost always paid by the seller. And it covers you for the life of owning the home. The risk is not worth the cost. Absolutely.
Totally agree. So for your example, like if an heir came through and if you didn't have title insurance, they could put a claim in and have, rights to the property. Yeah, that's scary. That fee is definitely worth it just for peace of mind and make sure you have a clear title. No one else has ownership. You're not responsible from someone's lien or something 20 years ago. So
I just cleared one the other day, a welfare lien from 1983.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just 18 years old, got some assistance, and then, never paid it back. And then it got missed on the title before us and came to us and we had to pay it off. And the seller had to pay it. They went back and got a title claim from the previous owner. So they were able to get it paid back. But man, we all try our very best. But especially when you're looking at changes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, they weren't as electronic. And so it's better to be safe than sorry.
Things can be missed. Yeah, definitely. Things can get missed. And I bet you these title claims happen behind the scenes more than what we even know, because most buyers or sellers may not even know if it happened several times, but obviously you probably
millions
see it.
Of dollars. And really the little claim where the great niece of somebody comes up and says, well, in 97 my Uncle Joe signed this will that said I was to be paid 25% of the home. I own 25% of the home, and without title insurance you're the legal fees and at risk of losing your home. With title insurance, we take the claim, we pay all the legal fees, we go to bat for the buyer, and then we try our best to keep the buyer in the home and then solve the claim to pay that lady the 25%.
All right. Yeah, and you're right. Most of the owner's title policies that we see are paid for by the seller anyway. So yeah, definitely good for peace of mind. So yeah, that was a great explanation. So, and I know you've done countless transaction purchases. You work with some of the best agents we have in our area. So what's one thing you wish like every buyer knew before entering escrow?
oh, what do I that it's a weird process for everybody. Even if it's not your first rodeo, it can be stressful, but that everybody is nervous when they do it, and that it's okay to ask questions. Asking questions in the beginning or throughout the transaction save you from the expensive ones of not asking. Utilize everybody, utilize the contacts that you have, your agent, your loan officer, your escrow officer. Utilize all of us to answer the questions that you might have. We all want you to feel comfortable with the process. We want you to understand, and that it's weird for everyone, and that it can be a little bit scary, and there's nothing abnormal about that. So ask the questions and avoid mistakes. Just there are no dumb questions, as they say.
I totally agree. We do this every day, so some of these terms and our lingo is common to us. But for someone that's buying a house, I mean, they don't buy a house every day. Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree. We should work as a team, ask questions, know that we're here to answer anything, whether it's loan related, escrow related, real estate related. We're all here for our buyers, our sellers, just to make the transaction as smooth as possible. So yeah, and you do a great job of communicating.
Thank you. So do you.
Yeah, so I didn't prep you for this before, but can you kind of just touch on like the benefits of working with different lenders or agents, and the benefits of working with maybe one agent versus another? Like, because I know with me personally, I know the difference between a good escrow officer and not. I know who knows their stuff, who's responsive, who gets me things when I need it, who is just on it. You just know. So I'm sure you've worked with a lot of different type of, professionals, and you have a preference.
I do.
What sets them apart in your mind?
So I think that for all of us across the board, agents to lenders to escrow, is that communication is key.
I agree.
It's not just communication, it's communication with clear expectations and results. Like when we work with your team, it's just consistent outcome, fast closings, communication, quick, concise, clear. That's what we're looking for, and that's what makes our job easier. When we work alongside agents that are responsive and that have prepared their buyers or sellers, when we work with lenders that have prepared their buyers and sellers for their portion, we're able to take off and run with what tasks you're asking of us, because everybody is prepared, and that communication is just key. Communication is so important in all aspects of life, but when we close escrows, we just need to know, we can pull off an early closing because we've been told we're doing so. We can pull off credits and changes and reworking fees because we're being asked, and so ahead of time. So just that clear communication, your team and you are exceptionally clear and concise and speedy. And I think that you build this trust in your name among the industry, because you work hard and your buyers can trust you and the agents you work with can trust you, and it just shows, and that's what we look for, to be completely honest. And we don't have much control over who we can work with in certain transactions, but man, there's just certain people you see come cruise through that email and you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the easiest transaction. You just know it's going to go well.
I feel the same way. When I have a purchase and they say, oh, escrow's open with Kellie, I'm like, yes. Becky's like, yes. We're like super happy. So
the feeling is very mutual.
Yeah, so it's good. So I know that's a very important, just to have clear communication, build good relationships with everyone in our industry. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I appreciate you liking to work with us. We like to work with you, and we hope to be able to close a lot more escrows with you.
I hope so too.
So that's really all I have for us today. I mean, you've been really, really helpful. I think our audience is going to love all the content and all the value you brought answering all these questions.
Thank you.
So before we sign off, if anyone wants to open escrow with you or get a hold of you, what's the best way that they can contact you to open new escrows?
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me, just like Kim Possible. You could snail mail me. My most preferred way of contact is by my cell phone. My phone number is 916-618-8012. You can text or call anytime. My email is kames@firstam.com. I'm available by all ways for questions, fees, net sheets, or escrows. And thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, you're very welcome. So guys, you've had it. We have Kellie here, Kellie Ames, First American. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the next episode. Thank you.